Okay, tonight we're going to learn about trash can turkey. You need about a 10 to 12 pound bird. This one's 11 and a half pounds. After it's completely thawed, take it out of the container and transport it outside. You'll want to remove the gizzards, necks, and giblets, and etc. A lot of times these are located in the back end, but you'll also find that in many turkeys they've got something located in the front. You'll want to take all that good stuff out. You'll be needing it, so don't throw it away. Okay, so here's a little tripod I'm making. It's got these little posts. Now my scouts made those one scout camp to cook steaks and baked potatoes on at a blacksmith shop. But for scale, they're pounded into the ground to a length that the trash can will fit over them and the bird will fit on without going all the way to the ground. Let's make sure that that works before we have to adjust it. By the way, get your coals going before you do any of the rest of this stuff. It'll take a little while for them to turn nice ashen gray. Okay, that middle stuff that we had contains a liver, which we're going to keep, and hearts and neck, gizzards, and we're going to dump those into a pot of water here. We're going to boil that for a while, get some of the stuff out of there, and use that in our dressing. Meanwhile, our bird looks like this. We're going to set it outside, and again, there's that liver, and we'll be following Julia Child's recommendation on that one. Okay, having put the heart and liver aside, there's the heart, liver, we're going to focus on the bird. Some people don't do anything. I put a generous dose of Mrs. Dash, whatever, chicken. It's salt-free, and I'm going to add some salt. I use kosher salt, and there's no particular science to how much you want. Now we're going to go impale the bird on the tripod. I'll be doing that, and I'll show you what it looks like as soon as I've impaled it. There you go. Nothing too fancy. Sitting on the bird. You're going to check to make sure that the trash can fits over it and it's not too high. When you do this out on the beach, you may have to bury the trash can. In my case, I like to cut off a little bit of the trash can. This one's sort of at an angle, but so it is. We're just gonna do it how it works, and I will make sure that we're not actually touching the bird any place. That would definitely burn something. And so there, we're ready to start cooking. I'm gonna take some of those coals, about 11 and a half pounds, like I'll measure, and put them all around the base and on top. See you in just a sec. Okay, there we are. Unfortunately, the wind direction has changed slightly, so we're getting a lot of smoke from our thing and small grass fires that we have to tend to, which is why we don't leave this by itself. And you see them, I've got them all around the base and on top. Now, it's 5:35, and because it takes 11 and a half minutes, it takes 10 minutes a pound, we have 11 and a half pound bird. That's half a pound shy of 12. 10 times 12 is 120 minutes or 2 hours. So half a pound less than that would be 5 minutes less, which says just before 7:30 this bird will be ready. So I'm going to change gears here for a little bit and get to working on our dressing. We're starting to boil those gizzards, livers, etc. Now, all right, now we're going to put a couple sticks of butter in here. Just go ahead and get real close to it. Yep, dump them in there. And as soon as those melt, why don't we go ahead and get those onions, because we'll be using them up pretty shortly. I guess I have a little less than 2 sticks of butter in there. We chop those up, and we need to get all of them out and pour them into the thing, because we got to saute those till they're pretty well done. Yeah, just go ahead and dump them in now. And that's close enough. And we'll just stir that bit around, and we'll saute those onions, and then we're going to mix up some really good dressing here in just a minute. We'll put some celery in there once these things are cooked. Then we'll add the cornbread stuffing mixed with some of that water that we're cooking up in there. I get more questions about the steaks that I use than anything else. These were made by some of my scouts. I'll zoom back out. Just for a piece of a metal bar. They did it at a blacksmith shop where they were hammering and making a point. And then of course at the end they were able to twist it and turn it around, put a little pigtail on it, put some rotation in it, bend around a little staff. And these are great if you want to skewer a baked potato. It cooks a lot better. And then we'll also put a steak and we'll just sort of thread that steak through there so that it doesn't droop down to the fire, and you can just twist it around and cook a beautiful steak and potatoes with this little iron steak that they had a great deal of time making. I'm going to be using herb seasoned Pepperidge Farm stuffing. I don't even care how much water they say, I just do it by feel. I've got a couple of them here, we'll see how many we need. I figure you always need plenty of onions, and we're going to cook those onions down just a touch more before we put the celery in. Then we'll go and see how our water's boiling. Now I'm doing this indoors, although it's just as easy to do outdoors. What you find out is sometimes cooking up that liver and gizzard and stuff, there's a bunch of white foamy crap that forms at the top. I get rid of it. Okay, so there I put the celery and I'm about to stir that up. It's kind of getting dark, so I may have to turn some lights on in here. But the next thing I'm going to do after I stir in this celery is to stir in the stovetop stuffing, a little bit more of that chicken spice that I use, and then I'll be putting that water in that we had boiling around those chicken necks and gizzards. And I'll just put that in till it's enough. And then I'll be putting the lid on this baby, just a few coals underneath, a few coals on top. We'll be cooking it nice and slow. These over here are for the dessert, which I'm hoping is going to show up.
Because it's really dark outside, we'll switch to photos. This is the dressing, ready to be cooked. It's nice and moist. When it's done, it'll be crunchy on the outside. The hot coals go around the can. They don't go in it. They go on the top. You can see how they look now in the dark. Of course, they're ashen gray, so with a little light on, they look like this. We like to cook that liver. I use that same steak to cook any kind of meat over the coals. If you've got some Cub Scouts or young Boy Scouts helping you, they like to sit around and play by the fire, and it's kind of a universal thing for them. Finally, we'll get ready to take the trash can off the bird. Knock off a few coals, be very careful, get something to hold it with, and suddenly the reveal as you take it off, there's a kind of a moment of, wow, that actually worked. It's a beautiful bird, extremely moist, cooked